Live. It's
It
back.
says live.
It says
Good
now
sign.
it's live. Now it's
Okay.
live. Like it went and then it disappeared. I don't know what the hell happened.
It's like socks in the laundry. You just don't know.
I'm terrified of socks in the laundry. I actually am. I like seriously though. Like laundry wise,
Yeah.
socks get devoured. I don't know why. Just for me, it's socks all the freaking
All the
time.
time. And you find the one sock. So, like when I'm wearing different socks, people are like, I just do it on purpose at this point. I don't even try to pair them. You just like, they're just going to disappear. It doesn't matter.
I like pairing the socks. I'm going to actually be getting some paired socks tomorrow. That's my adult thing to do. Actually,
Excellent. Excellent.
I am an adult sometimes.
It's overrated, right?
Like, oh God, yes. Oh my God. It is literally the worst curse you can put on somebody. You're the adult. Like, no, I do not want to be the responsible one in this room, because if I am the responsible one, I'm going to be an asshole. I'm just going to warn you up front. Because you make me the responsible one, because I don't like it, because I have to deal with you. I don't want to. I like my freedom. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I don't like leadership. But see, I'm a weird kind of asshole this way too, in the sense that if I think you're an idiot, I ain't gonna follow you, right? So I'm the worst. So that's where I am. It's like if I respect you, I have no problem you taking the lead. If I don't respect you, you're not gonna make me do shit. Like that's just the way I am, and I don't care who it is, what it is. It's just like, are you competent at your job? I'll believe you.
I'll believe you. Oh,
right?
God. So do you want one of my reviews at the day job? This is in my actual review. It says, you really need to work on not rolling your eyes when you think someone is stupid. I'm
Well,
like,
no. There is some validity to that. See, I don't do a day job right now. Right now, I have a side gig. I work for the Flames, and I'm trying to get more clients. I'm doing a video business right now, trying to help make advertising and stuff like that. But I also create shows for people as well and produce. I have become a producer. I'm not quite sure how that happened exactly, but maybe it's all like your episode 89. Oh, well, energy, but also just 89. Like I've done a lot of these episodes, so I got experience, right? I got lots of experience. So. But here's the thing, so when I had a day job, this is what I've learned to do with day jobs. I have checked out in the sense, not like there is an effort. I will do what I am told to do. Right?
Malicious compliance?
Well, no, it's not even malicious. It's not even malicious. This is the best part, right?
Okay.
This is the best part. But this is the thing. This is what I do. I don't care, and I don't think. To get me to think, you must pay me twice as much as what you're paying right now. To get me to care, that is 6 times as much as you're paying me right now. Right? And that sounds like really. But here's the thing. I have worked with enough day jobs. I've come to this conclusion. Most of them. See, I understand the overall logic, but the details never make sense. Like never ever makes sense. Do you work for a big company or a small company?
It's a big company.
Okay, so big companies are okay. So the big company, all the big companies really hoping this is it. Like this is they have a low bar. Like they have a very low bar.
Yeah.
And their low bar is, okay, we want this to keep working tomorrow, but we're so big.
Yep.
Right, we're so big we can't possibly monitor all this shit no more. So what we're hoping. Is that we find somebody that that knows how to walk, possibly tie their shoes, and can keep. And you think it's that. You think
no, I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Like big companies, like the big guys know, like they do, like they're like I think this was the epiphany I had when I was working for what I called the Sparkle Muffin. That's what I called the courier company I worked for. The Sparkle Muffin. I always go sparkle. People would look at me like I was. People would look at me like I was crazy, but they understood it too, because it was just like you understand that. You see that like within 2 days of work, I worked there almost 10 years. Within 2 days, I understood all the problems that existed in the shop, all of them.
And you're never going to fix them because nobody wants to. So
no, well, it's not that nobody wants to exactly. It's not quite it. Okay. Right? It's not quite it. Okay. I'm not talking middle manager. I'm going to talk big picture. Then we're going to talk.
Oh yeah, the mothership on top, who
the,
like they're
the,
aliens and who knows?
yeah. See, the mothership on
Yeah.
top is very aware of the problems that exist. Here's the thing, right? It's not that they don't want to necessarily fix it. It's that what do you replace it with, right?
Right.
And sometimes it's the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Right. Because
Right?
systems are flawed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, they're going to be flawed no matter what you do.
right.
So the question
Exactly.
is, can you put up with what you're dealing with? Right? And
Absolutely.
that's it, right? So and that's the really high guys. Now the guys just below them, some of them, like, okay, I know why you're below those guys. And then the guys below them, I know why you're even below those guys. And then they get to the middle management, it's like, you poor motherfuckers, right? And then
right.
no, so I like because again, and this is why I can't work a full-time job anymore, because I see this gate, like I see it perfectly.
Yeah.
I just see it perfectly. So now it's like I cannot give myself like, so this is where I've hit. I'm going to put as much effort in as the company does. I'm not going to pick up any of the slack. If the company is neglectful,
Yep.
I'm not fucking worrying about it. Because if you gave a shit, if you truly gave a shit, you would make sure. Like I was during the pandemic, I did the odd temp job here and there. This one temp job I did, they put me on this machine I've never done before. They gave me no training, none.
Okay. I mean, that sounds typical. Okay.
That sounds very typical.
Yeah.
But here's the not so typical part. I never panicked. I let it
Right.
overwhelm. I just let it overwhelm me because I didn't care. And because my argument was, well, if you were really serious about this,
you'd have trained me.
Yeah, that's it. That's simple. Right? I don't care that much because I don't care that much. Right? That's it. That doesn't mean so. And the trick is you got to learn that balance of I still got to put an effort in, because the effort I put in is going to impact everything I really want to do.
Right.
Right. So I got to put in an effort. But what I recognize is this this giant box I'm in, I am completely detached from any investment in the outcome of this thing. Doesn't matter to me. I get paid any way this goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my expectation is if the place is not on fire when I get here, I'm working.
And is it when you leave? Is there a?
That's tomorrow's problem, not today's problem. Okay. That's right. That's tomorrow's. I don't have the. I care about the people I work with some. I don't want anyone to get hurt. Right. But I could give two shits about what the company's doing. And the reason that's that way is because they have already taught me that I am a disposable, replaceable part of their machine.
Oh, absolutely. You're a number in a spreadsheet, and as soon as it's good enough
So I just flip it the other way. That I treat them the same. That you are what you eat. That means they too are numbers on a spreadsheet, so they don't matter either. So now maybe that's not everybody's attitude, but it's mine.
It's yours. And that's the only thing you can control is your attitude, right?
Exactly. So you something again, and that insight into me, to anybody that listens to this, I don't knock anyone that has a day job. No, I'm going to be very serious for a second. I've gotten older and wiser. If you love your job, and this is like, I don't care what it is. If you love your job, nothing I just said matters to you. You love your job, love it with all your heart. Do
absolutely.
If that's what you do, if it's a day job, who cares? But
for everybody else.
but here's the thing. That is maybe a handful of people.
I mean, don't you love certain things about the stuff that you work on, even day jobs? Like there's some activities and some things that you do that you're like, this is awesome.
Again, this is unfortunately what has happened to me. Is I recognize that essentially all jobs are the same. Once it's really just simple. You show up.
Yeah.
You are given a task. Now, this specific skill set might be different. But if you really sit there and think about it, all jobs are the same. You show up. There is a task. You do the task. You put in the effort to do the best you possibly can. You walk away. That's every job. Doesn't matter what it is.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's every job, no matter what it is. Now, Some jobs are
But
more.
even producing and even writing, right? Like the things that we
Oh no,
also
yeah,
do,
but
those
again,
same thing, right? You got your task. I got to write a book,
well,
right?
oh no,
Okay.
no, no, you have no, but you have to do that with like okay, so from the artistic side
Really?
of writing, okay, this is the artistic thing.
Okay.
I want to get paid. I know that sounds like a
Yes.
really simple concept, but I want to get paid. So
Yes.
there are 2 or 3 things I recognize about. So these are things I learned very quickly as a freelancer. The first thing was the more money you command, the more people respect you.
Yes.
That is how the world.
Unfortunately.
No, that is how the world works.
Yeah.
That has always been that way. My very first client taught me this lesson, and I've never forgotten it.
Huh.
Right. So your quality of clients are equivalent to the amount they pay you. That
Yes.
is almost always the truth.
Oh, and see, I want to say, but what if they're assholes, right? Like,
But see,
isn't there some like balance between?
see, here's the thing about that. See, that can be also negotiated into the price as well,
I suppose. Right.
right?
Right. Okay. To do
Uh,
with you, it's twice. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. No. Or it depends. See, there. Okay, so I even have a list of things personally that I will work with, but charge X amount for, and there are things I will not tolerate at all. So, for example, I hate passive aggressiveness.
Okay.
Hate it.
Are you from the Midwest? Is that a
No, I'm from I am from the Midwest, so
okay? Because that's very prevalent. Very prevalent.
yeah, I hate it so much. I charge triple for it. I will
Really?
deal with it. I
Okay.
hate it
Okay.
because for me, because this is the way I look at it. Just tell me what you need. Like, I don't want to waste time.
Right.
If something's bothering you, please tell me.
Yeah.
Right? I can't. I
I'm
mean,
not going to read your mind. Wait. Let's see. Nope.
yeah,
Still can't do it.
yeah. So exactly, I can't do that. And there's a level of diplomacy. I'm not saying don't be diplomatic. You can be diplomatic about it, but fucking tell me. I don't got time for this shit.
Right.
That's the big thing. Like, passive aggressiveness to me is the biggest fucking waste of time. But if you're gonna waste my time, you're gonna pay me for it. That's how I look at it, right?
Fair.
Right?
Right.
There's
Fair. Yep.
that's me. Outright lying to me, I will not deal with at all.
What kind of lie though? Is it like the polite lie where they're trying to like make you feel better, or is this like the
That
holy shit, you changed my requirements and I have to start the whole thing over kind of
see,
lie?
both happen.
I mean, they
And
do.
yeah, both happen. So here's the thing there. Projects change.
Yeah.
And that's like, honestly, like, projects just change.
Yeah.
And when projects change and things happen, it is incumbent upon you to inform your clients, or as freelancer be informed things are changing.
Yep.
Part of the deal. It's just it's part of the beast. You have to deal with that. So that kind of thing is annoying, but it happens. And that's not really what we're talking about. So there is that. I just want to make that clear.
Right.
That not part of the
Because
list.
shit happens. I mean, that's like, right?
Yeah. But okay, so for example, little white lies, they're red flags. They're little red flags because I'm here to help you. So why are you lying to me? Right?
Okay.
I'm not here to judge you. I don't care. I truly don't. Right? And I'm here to judge you. I am here because I want to help you. Now, if I'm going to help you,
And
you're
get
going to have
paid.
to be what?
And get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So like, if I'm here to help you, you don't need to lie to me. I'm here.
But do you
Right?
think that it's because most people do actually on some level lie, or they do like, or they're not non-judgmental, so they'll tell you something and there's like that instant, so you kind of learn reflexively
I
to
it's the anxiety. See, so this
we're getting very topical now. Yeah.
no, yeah, it is. So I lived in a small town Mormon community in the United States for 2 years. What I learned in that 2 years is that, see, here's what happens. We all get wrapped up in what the world expects from us.
Yes.
So when we get wrapped up in the world what it expects from us, now sometimes, see, your eyes and your ears and your everything you're seeing, hearing, touching, tasting kind of feels like bullshit. And in your head, you're registering that. But it might pay your bills. It might be what moves along to get along. So you develop this little habit of I'm going to let this slide. And then eventually, without realizing it, you get used to it. And when you
Right,
get
because you
used to
are
it,
your habits.
yeah,
You
exactly.
become what you do and what you say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So what happens there is, there's an expectation of how to behave. Now, that is wonderful in your environment, and maybe you do need it to survive. But
Yep.
and this is my reputation to that is I don't give a shit. When I'm working with you, I just don't. Look, I am 41 years old, looking like 12. I'm 41 years old. I don't have time and energy to waste. I got
Yep.
things to do, shit to do.
Yep.
I wanna do those
Yep.
things. Now,
Everything you say yes to, you're saying no to something else. And if you're
exactly.
wasting time,
Yeah,
your project
exactly.
doubles, you just said no to something.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yep.
all of this. So, while I do think there's an expectation, I don't think necessarily people like professional people that want shit done, they don't fuck around. Like, the thing
Right.
is, this is what I've noticed, the more successful people are, the less bullshit there is. Right? The less. There's still
There's still
some
bullshit. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's less of it because it's about the money. No one's lying to themselves, right?
Right.
Sometimes
Right.
sometimes we have to play by certain rules, and we all kind of understand that. There's a compromise there. Sometimes there's compromises there. And in those situations, it depends. It's literally case by case. Like, for example, my side gig, I have a side gig. I work for the
Mhm.
Calgary. I work for the Calgary Saddle Dome, Calgary like sporting event stuff right now. So I get to go all the cool sporting events. Now
Nice.
there are written rules, or some unwritten rules, right?
Right.
Right, and everybody's kind of allowed to do some things in the warehouse that maybe other departments aren't. At the same time, there are limits.
Right. There's a line that you do not cross.
Exactly. For example,
Right.
for anyone listening, I have access to pretty much all the alcohol in the building. So there are lines I can't cross.
You cannot.
So,
Right.
right. So I have access to all of it. So here's the thing, right? So when you look at it from those lenses, you understand certain, how do you call it, white lies where no one's lying to themselves, but there's nature of the beast stuff.
Right.
Right? There's nature of the beast stuff. And that I'd never really that's one of those situations is sometimes you just have to play a hand a certain way. It's just, and I get that, and everybody does. But that's one thing.
Yeah.
But when it's you and me, I don't need your bullshit. Right? I don't.
Fair enough.
Right. I don't. Like, that's where I'm at. It's like, I don't need it. This is me. This is you.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We're going to do a job together. We may develop, hopefully, a relationship at some point to where you will come back or I will come back. That's the whole goal.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. What do I value? Authenticity.
Okay.
Authenticity. A clear vision. I love that.
Those are hard.
Apparently, right?
Yeah, those are hard.
And I like it when people show up to do the job. That's it.
What? Come on, man.
Apparently, that's a high expectation.
Apparently, yeah, that's a high expectation.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that all seems reasonable. So
yeah. I'm not an unreasonable guy. I have I have a standard.
Right.
I expect that standard to be met with my clients.
Right.
Now, the contract I made is I got to follow that too. Now, shit goes sideways. It happens to us all.
Yep, as it does.
Right, shit goes sideways. Cool. Communicate to me how the shit has gone sideways.
Yes.
I'm incredibly forgiving if you tell me. I had a guest that was supposed to come on the show yesterday. Her mom's in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm not.
Yeah. I mean, that's like life tragic kind of.
Yeah.
You get past for that.
So I'm not. I can understand that. I'm not an asshole.
But if it was a no-show and there was like no communication and it was like it adds that layer of,
I'll give you an example. I won't name names. I had a gentleman who made an arrangement to come on my show. He set the time and the place, and I sent him this thing booked. I sent him that a month.
Yeah.
The day of, I contacted the gentleman like I contacted you earlier.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I have meetings tonight. Now keep it." And you should have sent me.
But he set up the time, right?
He set up the time,
right?
And I sent him a confirmation right after he set up the time. And he tried to blame me for it.
Oh,
So
see?
and here's the thing. So now he's just on my shit list, right?
Right.
Right? Because now it's not that he didn't show up. I don't care about like grand scheme of things. It's annoying in the moment, but again, things happen sometimes. I get it.
Yep.
And also, if he told me straight up, "Hey, listen, I know I
I
said
effed
this,"
up, right? Like,
or
I
no,
totally
no,
double scheduled.
or even if he just said, "Hey, listen, I got an opportunity to really make some money tonight. I appreciate this opportunity, but I got to pass."
Yep.
I'd have
I mean, that's
understood.
upfront. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have
Yeah.
understood that.
Yeah.
So, but he did neither of those things,
And tried to
right?
blame you for the
Yeah,
schedule he skipped.
he directed
Yeah.
it at me, and I'm like, "No, motherfucker, it's you," right? Right. So that right, and that's it. It is a very like I again at this point in my life,
Yeah.
right? You're in or you're out.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly frank, I would prefer like the most important thing I need to know is where you stand.
Right.
I don't honestly care beyond that, right? I mean, and that's and that might seem it's not. It's just I'm respecting you enough to go, you know what? If this is what you want to do, cool. If this is what you don't want to do, cool.
Cool.
Don't
Yeah.
jerk me around. Just
Yeah.
don't jerk me around because if you jerk me around, I'm gonna associate you somewhere very low on my priority list, right?
Right.
Because right. So he like I said, I told him whenever you want to come back to an interview, give me a shout. I knowing full well that motherfucker's never gonna call me back because I and that
And
right.
even if he does, are you gonna be
Like
available?
he's not on my priority list.
Yeah.
Right. So that's it, right? Like that's where I'm at. Like I have seen like again, one of the biggest things I've learned since I've been back in Calgary is people have this idea that oh, my time is more valuable than my time apparently. It was like no. No, actually it's not. My time is actually more valuable to me than your time is. But I will respect you enough to at least let you know when things are go sideways. So
Right.
that's like again, none of this stuff should be rocket science to anyone,
That's true.
right?
That's true. But people do live with their own illusions, right? And they've got their own perception of reality and how they interact with their own lies, like their own inner lies about how they think they need to live their lives, right? Like that's totally a thing. That you think you need to do X, Y, and Z, like you were saying earlier, or that if I tell somebody the truth, they're not going to like me. God forbid someone doesn't like you, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like but again, at this point in the ball game, none of
Right.
that matters to me. None of it, right? I came back to Calgary. It's like I figured go see my friends I've seen very few of them since I've been back. To such a point that I'm like, okay, what I'm looking for is on here. I'm going to go elsewhere,
Right.
right? Because why stick around to a place where no one wants to hang out? Right,
Right.
right. Why?
Right.
Why? Right? It makes no sense. So I mean, and again, I'm a freelancer.
So you could be anywhere.
I can be anywhere I want to be.
Yeah.
So that's so like, what do I want to do? And so like, yeah, I'm free to come and go as I choose.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm treating like I try to treating this time like I figure help anyone out in some of my old friends. Some of them I have seen again have been awesome. The ones I have.
Yep.
But when it comes right down to it, I just I had this epiphany. Is basically it's one strike and you're out, right? And the
Oh, that
moment
makes me sad, but okay.
well, no, you have
Okay.
to, you have to, right?
But
Because
you
at
you
the
have to have at least a certain number. Like, I couldn't do the one strike and out. I mean,
well,
unless it's like a really bad strike, right? Like,
no,
there's
no,
certain things that you're like,
I
"Yeah, you're done."
well, well, okay, the motherfucker that said it was my fault, that was
Oh,
born
yeah, he's
reality.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, he's done.
Goodbye. See ya.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have him back on. I would rather have like a box of socks on than him at this point. That sounds right, and that's
Little hand puppets.
yeah, I would be more entertained. That's where he is on my list, and that's just the way it is, right? So, and again, it's that again, it's what being a freelancer has taught me is you got to learn how to stand up for yourself
Mhm.
because
That
people
can
are
also
going
be
to,
hard too.
but you have to. That's the
I know,
game.
but it
Like,
can be hard, you know.
yeah, well, because you're like, well, it's guaranteed money, but then you got to ask yourself at some point, right? Do you
Is
want
it
to be
worth it?
dealing? Yeah,
Yeah.
is it worth it?
Yeah.
look, I mean, it's not entirely possible before my time's up. I go work at a fucking Wendy's for like, a month or
Okay.
two. Yeah, exactly. Big deal. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit, right?
Yeah.
Um,
You
but
do
that's
what you
what
got to do.
I do what I gotta do in the short term, so in the long term, I can do what I want, right? But I mean, but again, I'm at that point in my life where like there are specific things I want to accomplish. And I would love to have people that are along for the ride. But if no one wants to come along, I'm still gonna do those things, right?
Yep.
And here's the thing, and that if when I do make it to where I really want to be, right? That's when I know everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, I knew you had faith
I
in you,"
loved you. Don't you remember me
and
from?
I'm like, "No."
No, no, I don't. Did we know each other? Like,
Yeah. Or no, I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go. It's like you weren't there. Where were you?
yeah,
Right? Right? That's it. Right? It's that simple, right? You have to when you're younger, you worry about what other people think about you.
it does get easier as you get older to
Well,
be able to
as you
tell
get older,
people that.
you realize that the only person that's going to take care of you is you,
Exactly.
right? And
Yes.
you realize
Yes.
that, and once you realize that, then you set a standard.
Right.
And if people don't meet that standard, they're out.
Yep.
That's it. It's
I
not.
feel bad, honestly. Like sometimes I do have that standard, and then when people are below it, like I'm like, well, but like I can feel myself excusing them sometimes for things, and
It,
then I feel
it
bad,
I see. I have a slightly different perspective. I realize something too is like how they see
Mhm.
themselves. You don't have to carry that just
Right.
because you can see. Look, every person that's come on this show has incredible potential to do all kinds of awesome things.
Right.
Everybody, doesn't
Yeah.
matter who it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I see though.
Right.
It's
It's
what
their
they
actions and
It's
what they see.
their
Yeah,
actions and their own
absolutely.
beliefs in themselves.
Yep.
That's it. I have no control over that,
Right.
right? So now I can encourage somebody. I can tell somebody like, "This is
Right.
what
But you
you've
can't
done."
fix them. You can't
No,
lead that horse to water and make them drink kind of thing, right? You can't.
exactly. No, you can't. So all I can do is say, "Look, you're an amazing human being because I see you do this, 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 and this."
Right.
Sometimes they pause and go, "That is really cool that I've done this, this, and this," and that's an amazing moment when they have that realization.
Yep.
But then again, then on the flip side of that, you'll see some people just it'll go in one ear and out the other.
And bounce around across the floor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
Absolutely.
it's one of those situations where I again my attitude's really simple with in regards to my professional work. You're paying me or I'm not even wasting my time with you,
Yep.
right? Personally, it's just but personally there's like I realize like everything is about the standards you set for yourself and the vision you have for what you can go for. And that's what this is all about. This is no, like, I realize this, all the outside stimuli, all of it generally doesn't matter. Barring like, an extinction level event,
Right.
right?
Right.
And we're
Right.
talking
Something
extinct,
cataclysmic.
some,
Yep.
something that level, like, it has to be that level.
Right.
Whatever's going on right now, I'm watching. Okay, so we're not going to go too deep into politics, but the certain
Thank you.
morons, certain moron has announced around, and I am sad at the fact that I have two dithering old men, possibly the two worst presidents in history, running against each other again. Right?
Again.
Again.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
right now, there are people on my Facebook page going over how much of an asshole Trump is right now, and
Okay.
I'm like, what difference does that make, really?
Right. Right. It's the puppet show that distracts you from your own potential almost, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's a
yeah.
distraction, and it
Yeah.
doesn't accomplish anything worthwhile,
Right.
right?
But do you think people are afraid of actually accomplishing something worthwhile? Like there's that fear of failure, a fear of success, so they never like let themselves embrace that dream. And so they pick all of these things, the games, the drinking, the political whatever, and use it as a distraction so that they don't have to worry about the fact that they didn't follow their dream.
So what does
Oh, that was
success?
cynical. Was that
No,
cynical?
no. No. The cynicism is not. Reality is not cynical. Honestly, it's not. Right? It might seem sad, but it's
It
not
is.
cynical. But no. Let's go a little deep on this one.
Okay,
What
I'm
what
ready.
do what do success of what is fear of success and fear of failure have in common?
Fear. You?
No,
Ooh, what?
change.
Oh, yes. Change is the bastard, isn't it?
See, if you fear failure, if you feel failure, your fear is you're going to be in the exact same spot even if you
Or
try with all
less.
you got.
Yep.
If you fear success, you fear the changes that come with success. More
Right.
specifically, the expectations, because you
Right.
know you can do it.
Because
Right?
expectations, yeah,
Right?
those can
Right?
be
Yeah.
boulders.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. Now I'm done. Here's the thing. Change is life. That's I
Yes.
truly believe that. Change is the course of life.
Right.
Discomfort is how you grow. That is life. So here's the question. How many people truly want to change? How many people truly believe they can change?
I don't think many. I think unless they're forced to, and that would be by a cataclysmic like circumstance, right? Somebody dies or something happens or they whatever, then maybe they
Change again. So then here you go. People are, again, the easiest thing in the world to do is nothing. It
right.
is the easiest thing to do in the world.
So I've got a girlfriend who just retired from being a clinical therapist, right? And I was asking her, she was telling me about that she had seen some people for 30 plus years, right, in her practice. And I was like, well, like, why did they keep seeing you? Like, why didn't they ever get like better or something like that? And she said, well, most people come to me and they don't want to change. They just want to feel good about their decisions.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought, and I had that moment of, oh my God, like that is
No, it's true.
right.
Look, if you truly want to find your potential in life, you must be willing to change.
Yes.
Because you're going to, at some point, everything you knew, you have to give it all up. It's part of the journey.
Isn't that,
Right?
but I can see people being scared and not wanting to, right? Like you said.
Exactly. No.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite books of all time is The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. It's one of my
Okay.
favorites. It's about a guy looking for the heavenly city. So he's going from place to place to place to place to place. And here's the thing. Or actually, no, the better example is it's almost a similar concept. It's called Midnight Nation. It's a comic book by J. Michael Straczynski and
Okay.
Gary Frank. So better the devil you know. So they go to this one valley. And in this valley, they have all these people on the fire talking about better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Right?
Okay.
So finally, so they sit there for a night. And after a moment, the main character just goes, okay, I just got to know what's beyond the woods here. What's in the woods? Because he was driven nuts by their inability to move forward. So he goes up the hill and he sees all these fires all around. That's this fire they're at as well, saying
Right.
the exact same
thing.
thing.
Yes.
What I realized about, again, I'm a man that's moved around a lot. Like, okay, so Midwest background, Windsor, Ontario, Detroit, Michigan, Toronto, Ontario, London, Ontario. So I have that background. Right. I went back to London about 3 years ago. Or no, it was 4 years ago I went back to London. And I remember I was in one of those like vans going to Toronto to get to the airport to go. And I will never forget the couple from London that was in there. Because when I was a teenager in London, the things they were talking about, I was listened to as a teenager. And I just think of everywhere I've been, everything I've done. Holy shit, you're still here. How? Right?
Because most people are. Your point is that most people are still sitting at that campfire talking about the devils and not going out in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, like you need you need to go out there and do shit. That's how you learn who you are
Yeah.
and
And
what you can become.
yes.
That's how you do it. It's
That's
not,
how you do it.
but
Yep.
again, it's simple. Now, here's the difference. Simple is not easy.
Absolutely. Simple sometimes is harder.
Simple is much harder. So
What's that joke? I wanted to write a short sentence, but I didn't have time.
yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. But I think my favorite example of all this is actually of all things Tetris.
We'll say it again.
Tetris. You ever play the game Tetris?
Yes. Yep.
It's an incredibly simple game. It's
Yes.
algorithms 101. That's all it is.
Yep. Yep.
And
And it's not easy.
No, God, no. It starts easy, gets harder as time goes on. But all of which to say, right? All of which to say, we live in a world where if you really sit there and think about what the world, I'm talking like the construct that human beings dub civilization, the Western civilization, you really look at it, it's trying to do 4 things.
Okay.
Make you frightened.
Okay.
Make you guilty.
Okay.
Right? Make you stay exactly where you are.
Okay.
And look for something to always be distracted by.
So you're more controllable.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Yep. I would.
I'm a wild man. I don't right in comparison, right? Because I don't give a shit about any of that crap. There's not much that scares me in this world. There's a few things, but most of those things are either very, very personal or very, 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 very metaphysical, right? Depending on right. So one of those 2 things, and most of this world doesn't fit in any of those categories. I've made peace with the fact that one day I'm going to die.
Right.
So since I've made that peace, there's very little in this life that bothers me. Right. So it's one of those truly like one of those things you need to understand is, once you realize what the game is and you see it for what it is, then you can have fun because you don't have to play by the same rules and you can actually show people different doors of possibilities they've never considered. And suddenly it's really cool when the lights go on there and they start doing shit too. And that is awesome when you get those moments.
Stripping away the illusions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not quite what you expected, but I think you dig it.
Yeah. I love talking like this and just even the ideas and I really do. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And nothing I'm saying is it like this was going to happen to next year. Next May, this podcast breaks 1,000 episodes. Okay. This is episode 89. Okay. So when May comes up, so this is actually what I'm quietly doing. I'm writing out a sponsorship letter. So I'm going to go to all these different companies. I'm going to go, hey, listen, I'm going to go on the road and interview artistic and creative people over ice cream and Bailey's. And I'm wondering if you want to sponsor the show.
Nice.
Because why not? Right? Why not? And then when that is done, I'm going to be, regardless of what I get or don't get, I am going to go. Now, maybe I'm still doing contract work in Alberta, so I might be in Western Canada, Western United States for most of the first year.
Yeah.
But my goal is to travel through both countries for the next few years, meet amazing people up close and personal, get their stories, post them on YouTubes and other places.
Yeah.
And see where it takes me.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm too old to wait for. Like I said, I'm too old to wait for shit. What I realized about life is all about what are you willing to go for right now? Because you got no guarantees for tomorrow.
Right.
Yep. So and since that's the case, what do you give a shit about? Because that is all that matters. The rest of it is bullshit. Right? That's it, right? The rest of it is bullshit. Because none of that stuff, look, tomorrow the world will say that ice cream is bad for you and nobody should eat it. Then the day after they'll say all ice cream is good for you and you should avoid cream. And the day after, right, the world's going to say that cigarettes.
Where's the pendulum going next?
Yeah, there's no moral center in the world. It doesn't exist. So what do you love to do? Who do you love to do it with? Mm-hmm. Find those people, do those things.
Yep.
That, my friends, is how you live.
Yep.
None of the rest of this shit matters. None of it.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be what other people love, it has to be what you love, right? Like, so the
Exactly.
fear of missing out and that kinda no, what is it you wanna do? What is it you love?
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
again, it's not rocket science in one sense.
No, but it can be really scary. I mean, I can absolutely see I mean, how long did it take us? Because 'Cause we're both older. How long did it
No,
take
no,
us
I've been
to
doing it. I've
figure
been
that
doing it my
out?
whole life. What are you talking about? Like
Oh,
so
dude, liar.
no, I'm not. I'm
Really?
not. Seriously, no, seriously. I'm just ready to get paid for it. There's difference. Like there's the
Okay,
journey, and then I'm just right. So,
right.
um, I figured out I wanted to write novels at 13 years old. I actually wrote my first novel throughout high school. My
Yep,
English teacher at the time actually gave me some reading and pointers and all that stuff out there. So did that. Ended up working for one of my heroes in Arizona. That's how I ended up in that Mormon community for 2 years. I got my ass kicked. These teeth are fake up here because, frankly, I have a lot of the experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I learned so much about myself getting my ass kicked that thoroughly. It was a necessary lesson because it taught me how to be tough.
okay,
Right. So again, everything I've been through has been for a reason. That's how I truly do
right.
believe that. I
Yep,
come back. I accidentally write a book of poetry that gets traditionally published, also by accident.
yep,
Okay. It's been writing books since. I accidentally started this podcast because of a random conversation with Robert J. Sawyer. I I have done nothing in this life but chase my dreams. I no like because what else is there? Again,
right,
when you sit there and think about life in general, you're here for sure once. So I don't know what you believe in
right.
terms of like reincarnation, the afterlife. Don't worry about it. It happens, I'm sure. Right? All right, what's going on over there? So, right. But, but the whole point being is you have this incredible opportunity all the time to your time is your only real money.
Yes,
It's your only
and
real
once it's
money.
gone, it's gone.
It's gone, it's gone, it's gone.
Yep,
Your energy, if there's a second thing, it's your energy. So it's your time
yep,
and your energy.
yep.
What did
What are you
you
gonna
do
spend
with
it on?
it? Yeah,
Yeah,
that that
absolutely.
is that is it. It means you want to, is it going to be a life of I've chased my dreams. I've been across 2 countries. I've met some amazing people. I've won awards. I've been published traditionally indie. I keep discovering. I've created shows for companies. I've done others. Again, I have done some freaking cool shit.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
And
good.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
I've been doing it on some level or another since I was 13. Now, what I wish I had learned sooner, if you want to talk about things I wish I learned sooner, I
okay,
should I should have gone freelance about 5 years ago.
okay.
If
But
I'm
you're
going to
here
be
now, so the best time to do it was back then. The next best time is right now,
yeah, yeah,
right?
well, yeah, no, I was once I went and got my teeth, once I got the thing here, I was ready to. I didn't really realize it. Freelancing's a mindset shift as well. It is a bit of a shift, and I wasn't ready to do some of those things until the pandemic, ironically enough. That's when I became a freelancer. Um, I mean, like I said, it has its ups and downs. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out, like right this minute, I'm trying to figure out how to come up with $500 for the end of this month. Like that's my challenge, right?
Right.
Can I come up with $500? If I can do that, I'll be good. If I can't, it's going to be a rough couple weeks after that, right? So,
Okay. Yeah.
right. But that's the life, right?
Right.
That's the ups, that's the downs, that's the life, and that's what it comes down to, right? Is you realize like what is so I could go right now, look for another job, get some kind of Christmas gig, work
Right.
the Christmas stuff. Would I accomplish what?
Yay.
But would I be accomplishing anything?
So if you go by what is it, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, so if you're down at that one where you actually need to do the shelter, food, and water, then you do what you got to do to get there, right? Like you got to have a certain level
I
before you
can
can actually, right?
see, I've been at that level too, and this is one thing. This is where I've kind of pushed back at this. At some point, you must allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Now, you can't do it
Yes.
forever. You
Yes.
cannot do it forever.
Yes.
but you have to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations sometimes, because if you do not, you will never see how far you can actually what you can get out of
Right.
things too. So there's a balancing act there, right? On the
Mhm.
one hand, right? I mean, 3 weeks ago, it looked like I was going to make my first ever $3,000 month as a freelancer. Almost all that money was free, right? But then 2 contracts got pushed into the new year. Maybe I see them again. Maybe I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But
Right,
that's the game, right?
right.
That's the
That is the
game,
game.
right?
It
Right.
absolutely is.
That's the game.
Yep,
So looking at it from all the angles I could possibly look at it at, right? Is it worth making myself a little uncomfortable just to see what I can accomplish? Yes,
right.
I think it is.
Yep. And again, that has that line too, right? There's a certain level of discomfort, which is absolutely fine, but when it sort of goes into the cataclysmic, then you're
I
like, "Okay, I gotta take care of me and then
the
regroup."
cataclysmic level of dysfunction, I've been there before. I know what that's like. Ironically, you're at your best there at that moment too. There is something about that drive that just takes over. I've been hungry. As you can tell, I've been through some shit.
Right,
So there is something about that it brings out an edge to you that, again, people who have never sought change will ever have.
right,
So like I said, it's one. So the challenge for me is, since I've been to that level before, I'm not afraid of it. That's a good and bad thing, right? It won't stop me
right,
from achieving my objectives,
right.
but I
Fear
might
of
hurt.
that will not stop you from taking the chances you need to continue down your path of your dreams.
That's right. But at the same time, or going to your point, there are points I may have to pull back, and
Right,
I may not be so quick to do it because I'm not scared of it.
right,
There is a risk, but what are you gonna do? That's life, right? Right?
right.
And I mean, hell, I could come up with $500 tomorrow. It's
Right.
possible.
I mean, you had that change really quickly, right, when the things got pushed. So it a couple days changed the whole perception of what was going on.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it,
Yeah.
right? That's the world.
Yeah.
That's the world. So that is the world we live in. So I have to. Now, if it goes really south, then yeah, I suck it up and I go get a real job for a little
Right.
bit and
For
get
a
some.
little bit. That's the key though, right? This is a regrouping. It is not a quitting. This is not a it's just a
Exactly.
regroup and
Yeah,
redeploy when you're ready to go, right?
exactly. That's it. That's all
Yeah.
there is to it, right? So
Yeah.
there's no, like, again, I don't bullshit myself, right? I don't bullshit myself, right? I may still be working the odd job here and there,
Okay.
but
Right.
but
It's like, okay.
but again, I'm at that point. But again, I also know this too. Just again, you can just tell based on my mindset, my days are numbered working any job long term. I just don't have it in me anymore.
That is, yeah. That would be awesome.
You can do
It's
it.
very funny. You've got me thinking about like the things. So, what risks at this point are worth taking? What things have I not looked at that I could easily do?
All right.
Simply do, maybe not easily.
Oh, okay.
That
So
would put you down further down the
let's talk.
path.
Let's talk about. We're not going to talk the political spectrum. We are going to go.
Okay.
Let's go down the future of the United States for the next 5 years.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Really?
No, because this is about you. We're going to do this
Oh,
about you. I want you. This.
okay. So wait. Are we going down the zombie apocalypse kind of
No,
future?
no, no.
Where okay.
Well, you know what? I don't think it's going to be a zombie apocalypse exactly, but I want you to consider this is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, what do you think retirement's going to look like in 5 years?
Retirement for people who are going to
About to,
retire or currently retired or me?
or okay. I don't know exactly how old you are, but I get the feeling you're around my age.
I
Maybe a little.
am. I'm actually a little older.
Okay, so you're a little older.
Yeah.
Probably not much older. So let's get now. This might be a little depressing. I'm gonna warn you up front. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Do you think you're going to retire?
Low In 5 years? Low. But I'd
No,
like
no,
to position myself to be closer to
no,
that,
no,
but
no, no,
low.
no, 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 no. I'm not asking 5 years.
5 years?
I'm not asking 5 years. I just asked
Oh.
you straight up. This is where I'm going to be very.
Oh, that I'm gonna live long enough to retire, or that I'm gonna
No,
have enough
no,
money
no,
to
no, 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 no,
retire, or
no.
that
That you're even going to retire at all.
Oh, well, no,
What are the
because no matter what happens, I'm still gonna write books. Fuck
No,
that.
no,
I
no,
mean,
no. Oh, okay, okay, that's good. That's cool. No, but even from your job, what
yeah,
do you think the odds are?
that I'm gonna retire from my job. I figure that I'm about due for a career change, and then I'll end up with some kind of career change, and I tend to stick when I do things, so it'll be another 10 or 15 years doing whatever.
You sure about that? See,
No.
this is what I think. This is how
Okay.
I see this going. So so we are at the end of the age of the end, like truthfully, like the age of you getting a job for life and retiring there
Oh, yeah,
died
yeah,
decades ago.
yeah. There's still some places, like the average length of time in my particular organization that people are there, it's like 25 years is
Yeah,
like the average,
but okay.
but that's
Here,
not
here
normal.
that's not normal. But the thing is, here's the thing. So it's good. So the next step is about to, I think, begin. Just something I've just the pandemic and everything just kind of hit and told me this. Just
Okay.
I don't think there is no such thing as a permanent job. I think, like in terms of, I think the permanent job market will be gone as we know it in 5 years. Not because of automation, not because of everything. You just watch where everything is going, right?
Meaning that we're all sort of gig workers and contractors and freelances for the
For
particular
a
organizations.
yes,
Right, and the majority of people are that, and they still might have upper echelons that do things for the particular company, right, that are employed, or maybe they're freelance too, I don't know.
some of them will be freelance, some of them will be like, there will be
Yeah,
the infrastructure for these companies is going to get smaller, not bigger,
right.
right? So when you think about it in those terms,
Yep.
that's where we're going, I think. I don't see it not going that way. Since we're going that way, what's going to end up happening is to create some kind of sustained level of any kind of economic enterprise, you're going to have to form your own company. Now, as a writer, you're already kind of in that position anyway as a small business.
Right.
So why am I doing what I'm doing now? First off, I have an obnoxiously big mouth. It's great. Right?
Okay.
Right? All right. Second, I have a ton of skills as a result of this. I communicate better than most people do because I do what I do here. I
Right.
can introduce people. I network better than almost everybody as well. I have networking skills. I do video skills. I do audio skills. I have a lot of skills
Yep.
doing this that are
Yep.
transferable. Okay,
Anywhere.
anywhere.
Right, do you not
Yeah, right.
communicate somewhere?
Yeah, so exactly. So I'm very handy. I actually would be a good manager. Drink. But anyways, that's a right. Right. I'd actually be a great one. But here's the thing, right? I'm creating a brand, a platform for myself now. So when this inevitable change occurs, I am ahead of the game.
Yep.
Right? That's what I'm doing. So again, that's how I see it going. I see the idea of the typical office worker. I think, if you're over 55, you might retire. You
Okay.
might. I think the closer you are to that magical age of 65, you will get there. Right?
Okay.
But 55's got a chance. But I think the younger than that, your chances decrease rapidly. Because I think if there's one thing the pandemic showed me, was that essentially the big boys view all of us as disposable. And if
Yes.
that's the case,
Yes.
they're going to create more and more of an infrastructure that features that kind of framework going forward. The only way to beat that, right, is to create something on your own. That does not necessarily need them either.
Right.
Right? And although we are going to go through some incredibly economically difficult times for the next 2 years, right?
Yay.
I'm just saying, listen. I'm not.
No, no, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just like,
yeah. I'm just saying, I think at this, I think at this point, like this is why I say the worst two presidents, like this does not fill me with confidence.
it's the monkeys. Look at the monkey.
Yeah, it does not fill me with a lot of confidence for the election of 2024. I'm really hoping. What I'm really secretly hoping is that like two younger, more charismatic candidates from both parties somehow beat these two, right? Because that would at least be different. But anyway, I digress. But the point being is that the next 2 years are good building years.
Yes.
So
I can see that.
Yeah, they're good building years. If you do it right, because again, it doesn't mean that money isn't going to be out there next 2 years. Quite the contrary, there's going to be a ton of money out there for the next few years. In fact, in times like these, this is when times of chaos is when the most money changes hands.
Right.
If you get yourself in on that, you could come out really far ahead. Like I said, and anyone that bought a house in 2020, 2021, 2022, I feel like, guys, poor fucking you. You're the ones that are going to get in the ass the most. But that all said, there's going to be opportunities to buy property. There's going to be opportunities to get into businesses, investments. If you have the resources available to you, it can be done.
Yeah.
Right. So there are a lot of possibilities for the next few years. And I think the correct way to align yourself going forward is if you sit there and think about this, you got skills. You got a name. I mean, look at your name, Claudia Blood. What the hell, right? What the hell, right?
Woo! I should be a horror author, right?
or a professional wrestler or a heavy metal band.
Yeah, that would be an awesome outfit.
Yeah, that's right. You come in like you wear like one of those obnoxious capes, like obnoxious. It's so long, it goes from like the aisle all the way to the ring.
All the way to the. Oh my god.
Yeah, right. You just so obnoxious. It's blood red. Right, and when you go like this, it's like the biggest peacock of blood thing ever, like eyeballs and blood. Right, but that's the thing, right? I look at now, there are trades, there are certain other jobs that are going to always be in high demand, right? They're always going to be in high demand, but when you get right down to it, I look at the job structure. Getting a job at this point in the ball game, unless it's like me, a side gig or something that has a means to an end, every job is temporary. Some are more temporary than others, but every job is temporary. So, and they're going to become even more temporary as time goes on. So the idea of you're kind of him and Han.
The problem is there are certain occupations that having so you can bring in contractors. So like, let's say IT and something like that, right? Like you can do contractors and you can bring in new people. And there's always this ramp up that happens that people are not good. And if you've got these projects that you want to get done in a timely manner, which is the whole point of it, is to spend as little money as possible to get this shit done, right? Then you're better off with a workforce who actually like knows what the hell they're doing and does it.
See, okay, that is one. There. I agree with you in principle. Here's the flip side. Okay, here's the flip side. Okay, these companies don't train anybody anymore. I know.
That's true.
Right?
No, that's true. They expect you to come in and walk on water.
Yeah, basically. So they don't train. So what that tells you right now is they don't give a shit who's in there, right? Because here's the thing, they're not investing in anybody anymore. All right, and that's how I look at it. So if they're not investing in anybody anymore, their whole perspective right now is
you're a cog and you can be readily replaced.
Yeah, and it's cheaper to do that. Than to hire somebody and train them and invest them so that they don't end up going elsewhere anyway when someone gives them a better offer for money.
Well, but it's the loyalty both directions, right? It was what you were talking about earlier, the fact that people do not stay at jobs for a long period of time, and they don't stay there because the company doesn't care about them and won't do things for them. And so the loyalty is both directions, right? If someone gets offered more money,
no, I agree. I'm just saying the logic. That's the logic,
right?
That's the logic. So And you know, again, but see, here's the wonderful opportunity these big companies have let us. Their customer service skills are complete dog shit right now
They
too.
are dog shit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're complete dog shit, which means that if you come up with a good service that with good customer service,
Right.
you will kick their
You will
ass.
kick their asses. Absolutely. How many times have you gone back to somewhere because they actually had a decent experience and you're like, I'm doing that again, right? I don't want to wait on the robo hold thing for 10 hours and not getting
Yeah,
it.
exactly. No, like right now, like I look at the fact that right now, if you look at it from like, okay, and the reason customer service is important to writing because what are you doing? You're offering a one of a kind experience for a reader to interact with and go through, right? So you're a service industry too. It's not necessarily customer service exactly, but it's a
Right.
service industry. So
Right.
here's the thing: you want to create the ultimate opportunity for them. It's like, hey, Claudia Blood, wait, you're not a pro wrestler? What are you writing?
Right.
Right,
Right.
right. And once they get into there, it's like, holy shit, Claudia's awesome. But that's the goal, right? Or the other way is, holy shit, I hate her. You want either. That's the response you want. You want
Right.
either I really love her or I really hate her.
Right.
Right? You
And if you
don't
hate
want
me,
that.
talk about me so other people try it out.
Exactly. Exactly. Listen, E.L. James, 50 Shades of Grey, that was part of the secret of her success.
Right.
Holy shit, this is terrible.
Right. And everybody's like, well, I got to read it. Yeah. Because everybody was
Right?
talking about it.
Yeah, it's right. And E.L. James like, oh no, they all hate my work, but I'm seeing the money. Look, I'm making angels out of my piles of money. Right? Right. And that's it, right. So
Right.
E.L. James, God bless you, you won. Right. And
Right.
that's right. And that's how you gotta look at this. Right. It's not, can I write the best story? Although writing a good story definitely helps.
I do want to, though.
No. I think you should because that's
Yeah.
also part of the experience, and
Right. Right.
right, that's part of it. But the
Hmm.
other part of it is how can Claudia Blood interact with her readers in a way that makes them feel like they want to come back for more?
Right. And
There's
I
two
don't
parts to
know that
this.
because I'm actually like an in person, like an introvert. So like
Yes.
dealing with people is like really hard. Like this is okay because it's like one on one and it's like,
Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Think of it like this. We're think of it like this. Okay. Do you trust me? And I'm asking this like in the hour we've talked. How
yeah,
like your impression of me? You trust me?
yeah,
Would you come back?
yeah.
Why?
Because you were fun to talk to and you've got some really good insights. And I actually feel fairly inspired to try something new based upon our conversation. So
So I created an experience for you,
yes.
right?
Yep.
That's part of your job. It is part. Now you don't have to do it like I do it.
And I
That's the thing.
couldn't, right? Because I
And
don't
you,
have that skill
and you
set. Right.
shouldn't.
And
And then there,
absolutely could not.
right, and you
Yeah.
shouldn't.
And that's okay.
Yeah, you can be that quiet, like quirky sense of humor that's in your head. I can kind of see it, right? Don't, just don't roll your eyes at your readers, okay? Even the people
I'll
that
try
hate you.
not to.
That
I'll try
no,
not
no, no, no,
to.
no, 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 no. Yeah, that no. See that? See there, your day job's right. See, rolling eyes doesn't do any good because here's the thing, right? Listen, and this is actually a good thing for like this is my talk with also your ego, right?
Yeah,
Listen, listen, ego. Listen, you might be the smartest person in the room, but if you drive people away, no one's gonna give a shit,
it's true. That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So you have the thing is you want people to feel welcome. I'm not saying
Yes.
like my way, but you want people to feel welcome.
But we were talking about the dude earlier who like did the whole snafu and then like, didn't. That's the
Yeah.
type of person that I roll my eyes at. If someone just like makes a
But,
mistake or does something that I'm kind of like, all
but
right,
no,
whatever.
no. See that then that's when I get maliciously kind.
Oh, okay. I could try that.
Maliciously, no, because see, I will deliver. See, I can be a bastard too. Like I know how to do it, right? I can be a bastard, and one of the ways I would do it, right? Now, I'll be blunt with you. By and large, I'm blunt. But if I really, really disdain you, I'm gonna be super nice to you. So nice kindness cuts worse than anything else on the planet if you do it right. Because now
See,
that,
I think you'd be a wicked enemy.
yeah, yes, I would be. Kindness cuts so deep because there's nothing you can do about it, right?
Right.
Right? Kindness hits in a way that doesn't. There's no armor for it. There's nothing.
It's
There's no
true.
armor for it. So it hits. So now I'm gonna make you feel like a giant sack of shit, and I'm gonna leave you and walk away and not
Giggling
you.
inside?
Oh no, I'd be giggling and outside at that point. I know, right? No. See, I don't have. See, again, knowing who I am, I couldn't do that. But be a grin on my face, a big smile, almost like a shit-eating grin, and they were looking at me like I want to hit you so bad, but I can't because you just put me over in a way that I can't deal. I can if I come at you now, I look like. Here's the thing, and going back to something else you said earlier.
Yeah,
Most people care about what they look like.
it's true.
I don't. So, right, and the way I say that, I should say that is, I do not care what your impression of me is when it's over. I'm going to
Okay,
be
which is
professional.
different. Yep, which is
Yeah, it's
totally a
just
different thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that. I'm going to be professional. I'm going to be nice. I'm probably not going to say again, the motherfucker I'm talking about, I did not mention them by name. That's on
Right,
purpose. That's on purpose.
right,
Right? I'd say it to their face. I don't care. But I'm not going to bury somebody in a place where they can't defend themselves.
right,
Right?
right.
So I do follow certain
There's
rules.
rules.
There's rules.
Yeah.
But I can be the kindest asshole on the planet if I want to be. And I will be if I think you deserve it. Right? Right? And I'll do it in such a way where they will be furious at me, but also helpless. And that's actually the worst feeling in the world.
That's the worst. Yeah, that's
Yes.
absolutely the worst.
Yeah. So I can do that. I can be that bastard. So I know how to do it. And that's what makes me like, it's like, yeah, I'm a nice guy. But if you push me the wrong way, I just don't want to deal with you. I'll drop you like a bad habit. But and I'm not talking physically, just like I'll walk away. But
Mhm.
if you do happen to make my shit list, I'm going to make you feel like the most horrible thing on the planet right there.
Those poor people.
Right? I'll call you out, and I can even call you out in the process too, which even makes it worse. It's like you're calling me on my shit, you're being nice, and you're being nice about it. Oh fuck! All right, like you're right. Oh yeah, it's the best way to do it. It is the absolute best way to do it because again, you're still hated by those guys,
Right.
but if they had treated you good to begin with, right?
Be a
Right,
non-issue.
it wouldn't be an issue at all now, would
Right.
it?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at, right?
I
But
always tell my kids there's definitely a lot of freedoms, but you're not freedom from consequence.
well, here's the thing. Every choice you make has a consequence.
Yep.
There's a price to everything. So take what you want and pay for it. And that's it.
Yep. And that's
That's
it. See, simple, but not easy.
Yes. Well, it's true. I sometimes people I had one of my former friends would come to me all the time. Right? You make it sound so fucking easy. I was like, yeah, really? If it's so easy, why aren't you doing it? They looked at me. It's like, no, I don't make it easy. I make it simple. Because deep down, this is what you're supposed to do, but you don't want to do it because you'd rather be a bitch. I said it to him like that, right? You would rather not. You'd rather not do anything and complain about it,
Right.
and actually do something and see it. So yeah,
Right.
right. And I
that's
said like
very
that.
typical.
Yeah, and honestly, that's being a bitch. Honestly, that's how I look at it. It's just like, don't if you're gonna complain about something, try to do something about it. If you try to do something about it, then you're free to say whatever you want, right? You may not be able to always change everything, and that's fine.
Right.
But okay, I fucking hate cigarettes and I'm trying to quit smoking, let's say for example, and I fucking hate them and I'm bitching and moaning a whole freaking time, but I'm trying to quit, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mad at that person. But if that person, how horrible smoking is they're just going,
Right.
right?
Here, do you want one?
Yeah, exactly, exactly, right?
Right.
No, like again, I've just come to a point in my life. I'm just let me know where you're coming from. Don't waste my time. That's it. I like really. There's no other cardinal sin at this point in my life. Don't waste my time.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah, that's it.
Because time is money and you only have so much of it.
I can't get that back.
Right.
I can't.
Right.
It's the biggest lesson I've learned. It's one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life, and I knew this a long time ago. You only have so much time. So, yeah.
Did you ever see that there was this where they put the weeks as days or something, and they showed it like a little graph that showed, and you put what your age is in, and it showed you like on average how long you have left. And so, like, if you're, here's your 75 years or whatever, and you're right here, and you're like, holy shit, I'm 2/3 of the way done with on average how long I'm going to live being, a female in this country and whatever else. And it was very like, wow, like you really saw it. Like I'm, however many percentage done. And this is on average how much I'm going to have left. So what are you going to do about it? Right. Like what, like that should inspire you to do something, to act.
You think that. But
I know it doesn't. But
yeah,
it should. It should.
It should. But what it should and shouldn't do, like I've come to this realization is people have to make their own choices about what they want to do with their lives.
They do.
Right?
Yep.
I have a ex-girlfriend who right now all she's doing is, from what I can tell, is getting high on mushrooms on an island somewhere. That's what she wants to do with her life. When am I going to argue with it, right?
Right.
Maybe one day she says no. Maybe that'll change, or maybe this is all she wants to do. I mean, I don't know that I could live that way, but that again, people have their own decisions they want to make, right? So it's the fact is, like, that is as viable as me trying to be an awesome world-class podcaster, going in a van, like I'm doing shit. But again, there's no standard to what is the quality of life you want. And what you have to realize is that at the end of the day, then everybody does exactly what they want.
Yeah, they do so by their choices. Each and every choice they make every single day, every hour. And the thing is, and okay, so I'm an optimist. I know, shocking, like in a weird way, I'm an optimist.
No, you know what? Most people, like, again, being aware of certain realities does not make. I'm an optimist too. Like honestly, I mean, this show has taught me that there's a lot of awesome people out there.
Yeah, and so, but any second of any moment of any day, you can choose differently.
Yeah.
Right? You can choose. You can set up your life to try and break your habits. You can, set up things to make there less friction to be able to do the things that you want to do, and make those things easier to do. Right? Like you can choose that at any moment in time. You're not locked into the life that you have. You can do something different if you want to.
Yeah. Every day is a new day.
Every day is a new day.
Every day is a new day. And you can choose at any time. You could choose tomorrow. You know what? Fuck this. You could go out, get to your office, right? I quit, and start cartwheeling out the door.
Yep.
That's what you want to do tomorrow.
And then break my neck down the stairs. But whatever.
Hey. Maybe.
It's the cartwheel part.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you think far enough. Listen, I'm going to assume you think far enough ahead if you're cartwheeling down that you're going to come up with a plan to survive it. I'm assuming that.
I'm assuming. Oh, you know what they say about assumptions.
Yes, but I mean, again, you were coming off early about how smart you are. I figured you'd be smart enough to have a plan. To stay.
I'm a smart ass though sometimes. So
yeah, it's fair. But so I just assume you're smart enough to figure an answer out there. No, so like I say it like this because people have a tendency again. It's like, yeah, anything can change. Like I said, tomorrow, if I wanted to get off the course I was on, I just look for a job.
Right.
Right. That's all it take. Right.
Right.
Now it's the
Right.
wrong answer for me. And deep
Right.
down, I know it. Right. But
And
I can
not saying
change
it's
tomorrow.
gonna be easy, right? Or right? Like, so there's
Yeah.
definitely things that are gonna be harder than others to do, that there's no question of that, and some things are long entrenched habits, right, that have made you who you are, that you're gonna have to work on digging yourself back out, right? Like, but that doesn't mean that you can't make that first choice to start trying to change your direction.
Yeah, absolutely. No, anyone can do it. Right. It's just, do you want to? Are you comfortable? I
Right.
have 10 rules to success. Would you like to hear them?
Ooh, 10? Okay. Do I need to take notes?
If you want to. Rule 1,
Okay.
show up.
Yes.
Rule 2, I'm gonna do the non-PG version because I haven't been PG all day. Do your shit. Whatever
Do
that
your
is.
shit. Yeah.
3, the cliche. Don't quit.
Okay, just do it.
4, the rest is rain. Now here's how this works.
Okay, yeah, how does that one work?
Okay, so are you a Star Trek Next Generation fan?
To some extent, yes.
Okay, so one of my favorite quotes on that show was, so Data was lost to this guy in the game. He was exploring why. Picard finally said, well, I solved it. He goes, Mr. Data, it is possible to do everything absolutely correctly and still lose.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Smart. It's a smart quote. It's a really, really intelligent quote.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Life is unfair. I don't actually think that's a bad thing. I think that's actually a great thing.
It's a thing.
It's what makes renewal possible. If life was fair, we'd be fucked. Like we'd all be like fucked. So it just right, we'd all be fucked because it's unfair. There's the advantage to it is I can stumble onto $1 million tomorrow.
Right.
I could also tomorrow, also tomorrow I could slip and fall on the ice and break my back. Just like life's unfair.
Right.
The paradox of success is you can do absolutely everything correctly and still lose. Consequently, if you don't follow these steps at all, you're stunned. You have a 0% chance of success. 0.
Right.
0. So rest is rain. Your job, I've said this on my my motivation. Your job is to show up and do the best you can.
Yes.
That's it. Do the best you can with what you know how to create whatever opportunities for yourself you're supposed to do. That's your job. That's it.
Yep.
If you do that, you've done good. If you don't, you fucked up. That's it. That's all it is.
Okay.
Rule 5. Get the fuck out of your own way.
Oh, see, that one's hard for people.
Oh, you know what? Rules 1 and 5 are the hardest rules for people. Right? Rules 1, it's in order. The ones that break people the most are Rule 1, Rule 5, Rule 3, and Rule 8. But we'll get to Rule 8 when we get there.
Okay.
But yeah, no, so this podcast is an award-winning show. Legit.
Cool. Yeah.
When I went nominated, I had my first little bout of imposter syndrome, and the thing I remembered was this fear of success, fear of failure,
right.
Fear of change. Ultimately, is what it is. I examined that when I had my own little bout of imposter syndrome, and what I realized was there were reasons people noticed what I was doing. First off, so how did I get here? Those things. What do I do so well? Obnoxious big mouth. Hello, right.
You're like, I'm in.
Yeah, right. And third, and this one is a real honest gut check. We all have our flaws.
Yes.
And these flaws, if left unattended, can be our undoing.
Yes.
So how do you get here? What do you do so well that people cannot help but notice you? And 3, what could get in your way from coming back into these positions again?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, the only exception to that, if you don't desire to go back there again, that's a completely different thing.
Right.
But beyond that, right. But beyond that, if you want that success, yeah, you gotta be very honest. Get out of your own fucking way. Rule 6, be grateful, be charitable.
Yes.
No one gets there on their own. No one. Rules. You got to ironically be prepared to go on your own, but but it never happens that way. It's just how it
Right.
works. Rule 7, no excuses. None. Doesn't matter why you did or didn't do it. All that matters is that you didn't do it.
It's not done. Yeah, you didn't do it.
Yeah, right. Or it doesn't matter. It really doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. If you get into a position because of luck, chance, doesn't fucking matter. You're here. If you're not here because of luck, chance, it doesn't fucking matter. You're not here. That's all that matters. No excuses. Rule 8, stay uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, that one is hard.
It's necessary.
Because people want to be comfortable. We have a drive to be comfortable.
To a point. But the reality of the situation is you stay comfortable too long, you're basically a dead man or woman walking. So, right. You stop changing when you're comfortable, and when change stops, now you regress. You must always be willing to change. Rule 9. This is one of the lessons I learned. This is one of the biggest lessons I've learned from the pandemic. Be detached from all outcomes. And that one is slightly. Here's the difference. We all have ideas on how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the most important thing about human psychology is this. This is important for you to understand about yourself. If you buy into an idea completely, it is hard to separate you from the idea.
Yes. Yep.
Right? It is hard to do it. And the pandemic taught me this, right? Big time. With everything that went on, the idea was more important than whatever was true. And one of the things I realized is people will cling to that idea in the face of whatever is in front of them.
Yep.
Because they buy the idea. So now, if you're detached from the outcomes of your ideas, it's easier to pivot.
Right.
Because now it's no longer an attack against you.
Right.
It's a criticism of the idea itself. That's all it really was to begin with.
Yep. This is like the egoless programming that they did way back when, that people would get so invested it was their code. And then when they go through code reviews or they'd get people looking at it, they would say it would be an attack on them as a person, not saying, dude, you didn't do your if statement right or whatever, right? Like, and so it's the same sort of thing.
It's even in writing, when we talk about like our books and reviews, why we take reviews so personally.
Right. And it's just not the cookie could be.
Yeah, right. An attack on the book is not an attack on you. Right. But it's hard because you put so much into it. And I totally get it. Right.
Exactly.
I totally get it.
Exactly. But you do want to look at them enough to say, hey, is there something constructive and real that I need to look at that might be a flaw that I need to try and fix and make better?
Be detached from all outcomes.
Yeah.
It's really good. I learned from, and the person that enunciated that perfectly for me was ironically Jocko Willink, his podcast. He talked about that in one of they did a book about history of military incompetence. And this idea kept coming up over and over and over again about just that idea of what they thought it was and what the world was telling them. Basically, don't be blind to what your eyes and ears are telling you. Your ideas don't matter. Your eyes and ears are more important than your ideas. Listen to your eyes and ears. Ignore your fucking ideas. Pivot. Detach from them. Rule 10.
10.
If in doubt, have fun.
I like it. Nice.
Like those?
I do.
They all make sense, right?
They do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, so, like you said, some of them are harder than others, to actually try and accomplish. And,
Rule 1, I didn't think that was a big rule until I realized it is a big rule. Like again, I haven't seen many of my friends since I come back in Calgary. And one of the things, I've seen some of them. It's like, oh, we'll get together at some point. We'll do this. We'll do that. And I don't hear from them for months. And then it's like, I don't think you're serious. And then right. And so showing up might seem like, I always feel like it's the dumbest of all rules. But my God, is that so accurate? Showing up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Okay, so I have a little caveat. You can quit if it sucks.
Right.
Yeah, you can quit if
Right.
it sucks. It's not.
Or if it's
It's
not
not.
working and you try something else. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, if it sucks, like, if it's hard, you shouldn't quit. And there's a difference, right?
Mhm.
If it's hard, but you can get there's a light at the end of the tunnel, then you should be pushing for that light at the end of the tunnel, right?
S
But
s Go ahead.
if it sucks, it's like this sucks. You suck. This all completely blows chunks. I'm out. That's fine.
Yep. Then it's okay.
Yeah,
But
no,
even
there's
then, like, is it a momentary suck? Is it a suck that you're causing, right? Because of
so
your own
so so
attitudes,
I
right?
there's some there's okay. So remember that machine thing I trained for? I
Yeah.
had decided that after going through that experience that I was probably not going to last much longer at the job. Right? I
Okay.
decided right there and then because something just told me deep down on the inside, right?
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna make it, right? And lo and behold, they fired me. On the other hand, but at that moment, I just realized in my head, I'm just not built for this anymore. It's just not me. I look for like as someone who's done his own thing,
Mhm.
you would look at work differently. And after you do that, you just see work as now again, if I had kids, maybe I'd find the mustard to do it. But this is just me.
Right. There's a lot of freedom in that too when you're
Yeah. No,
yeah,
so right,
which
right,
is
right. But
cool.
you're right. Well, that's the advantage. The disadvantage is like, well, it'd be nice to share it with people. That's the thing. Like right, that right. So
That's true. Yeah.
there is a pro and there are pros and there are cons, and to both, right?
Mhm.
So all of which to say, um, you have to be honest about what your goals are, what your vision is, and your attitude. And if you're in a place that does not fit those things, right, then just recognize it and just
Mhm.
walk away. Like just know deep down that
Yeah.
okay, yeah, right. And again, I'm not above extra money, but as you see, I've hit that point in my life where I'm treating jobs like whores. I use them, I throw them away. You're like,
Like, yeah, okay.
it's true, it's true, right? But but that's the thing. Now I enjoy like okay, so my side gig with the sports arena, that's a fun
Mhm.
job. It's not a hard job. I for
It
the
sounds like you
moment,
enjoy it though too,
yeah,
right? Like there's a
it's
level of
well, it's really cool to see. Like again, we artists have I am firmly convinced that artists and athletes are virtually identical in terms of habits. Great artists and great athletes are virtually identical. The big difference between both of them is how they measure success. With an athlete, there's a meritocracy. If you're in a hockey team or you're watching a football game or you're watching there's a winner and there's a loser.
right.
It's very cut and dry.
Yep.
Art is not that cut and dry.
No. No, it's definitely not. What was that
But
book that talked about art is all about social? If you can't actually put an explicit, value to something like art, then it's all about sort of like the social connections to the art is what imbues the value to it. I can't remember the
absolutely,
whole book I was reading. Yeah.
absolutely, and that's a big part of this, right? Big
Yeah.
part of this whole experience. You got to be again. We can't be dishonest with ourselves,
Be nice
right?
to sometimes, but you're right. I mean, you're right. And you gotta see reality and you gotta, learn from your mistakes and
Yeah,
show
no,
up.
that's I never imagined that like that would be like the hardest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
Right, right,
But it's so
and yet,
easy not to. It's so easy to turn on the TV or so easy to, insert whatever, right?
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So, but
yeah.
that's the whole thing. Now, again, I'm a struggling freelancer right now. That's where I'm at right today, this minute today.
Yep.
But tomorrow, who knows, right? And the thing is, I think inevitability, success will come. Again, economy doesn't really matter. Matters is, can I do a service that people will like? That's
Right.
it.
And
That's
come back
is
again for, like you were talking about earlier.
exactly. Or give me
Yep.
something steady work. Right? That's all this is. Like this game is not rocket science, and right, it's just again looking at something and simplifying it in a way that's like, how do I, your job, I think, honestly, is to look at your career, whatever that career is. And instead of looking at the whole pyramid, right? And in some cases, like day jobs, pyramid schemes. But she's laughing. She's laughing because she can see it. So, right? She can so see it. What it is, what you need to look at is, instead of the whole pyramid, you need to look at the steps on the pyramid. You break it down into smaller steps, because you can scale any mountain, you can climb any height, you can touch the sky. There is almost nothing in this life that's impossible. Almost nothing.
With creativity too. Add some creativity to what you're about to say, and then yes.
Yes. No, it's almost nothing's impossible. So the thing is, can you look at anything you do as a form? My biggest challenge is I have to convince people that my services, whether they're putting a show together, whether creating a video content to advertise somewhere, is if it's worth the price I'm willing to pay for it. They're willing to pay for it. It's got to be worth my effort, but it's also got to be worth theirs. And the thing is, when I'm fighting for it, what I'm fighting for is, that's the fight. The fight is what I believe I'm worth versus what the world will tell me I'm worth. Right? Now, that's it. That is it. Now, maybe I inevitably go, you know what? I won't try to advertise to writers anymore, because writers will see the value of advertising, but don't want to actually put anything into it. So it's
right, because we're all broke.
To a point, not all of you are broke. Not all of you are.
That's true. That's true.
Right? Not all of you are. And the ones that aren't broke tend to see the value in the advertising and tend to do it. So now how do I reach them? That's the challenge, right? Right. But that's it. And even if you are a quote unquote broke author, right? The name of the game is advertising, because
it's being seen, it's being talked about, right? Just what you're talking about earlier was the 50 Shades, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the other half of the job as a writer, is you have to advertise.
Too many halves.
Well, no. Actually, breaking the writing job down is actually simple. Here.
Okay. Yeah.
You write shit. Okay.
Yep. Make shit up. Yep. I'm there.
Make shit up. Write it down.
Yeah.
You assemble a team of people, right, to edit, make it, and polish your book.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Graphics, all the rest of it, blurbs.
Yeah. Again, all part of that process, right?
Yep.
Also, although I don't know why writers struggle with blurbs, they're
horrible. It's like writing bios. No.
See, you are not looking at this correctly. You gotta look at it.
But
no. See, because you're looking at, how do I sum up everything I put together in just one little series? No. That's not what you should be doing. You should be telling a story. Look, what's the job of the blurb? The job of the blurb is to
entice.
Exactly. So, what does your book? What does your book make you feel like?
What make me feel like?
Yeah. When you wrote the book,
yeah.
I'm hoping there's a feeling somewhere in your book.
Oh, I have to have feelings? Come on, like
you have to feelings a little bit.
Oh, damn it!
I know. Goddamn, I know. and then okay. Because that's what you tell the story about those feelings and those experiences.
I was super excited with the Relic trilogy that I could put army ants, an alien like army ant inside of there chasing my main character. I was ecstatic that I could do that, and they could jump off a freaking waterfall, and they could be in like this tropical rainforest and have assassins and shit.
Do you realize? So you realize right there how much advertising potential you have right there. I'm just saying. Again, you're looking at this wrong, right? You're looking at this wrong. You got all this cool shit in here. So why not tell people about it?
I know, but see, yes, I know.
But see what? What's the excuse? You got, look, here, I'll tell you about one of my books. I'll talk about one of my most recent release. Alice, it's called Alice 1 WON ? It's Alice in Wonderland merged with Greek mythology. Alice is Pandora. She opened Pandora's box and has a certain Cheshire friend inside her head and in her shadow. So she chases the Queen of Hearts over the edge of the world, and she ends up in the Greek underworld, where to escape, she must beat Jason of the Argonauts in a game of croquet unlike any other. And in this game of croquet, Alice and company encounter gods, monsters, and maybe the most terrifying thing of all, themselves.
Themselves.
How's that?
That was good.
Was it good?
It was good. But okay, but that's like, again, remember, short is hard.
Can be.
Yes. Yes. And it's something that you're so close to, right? Like, as the person who wrote this, and you think about it and you think, okay, I just wrote this however many words. And then you're thinking about, like, how can I make this enticing? And you have this big blank moment that happens. And you're like,
See,
shit.
again, but see, you're looking at, see, because you're putting this into the point of view of how do I get people to buy this, right?
Right.
You're not asking yourself what makes this book so goddamn cool. And that's a
Okay.
that's a different
That is a
question.
different question. That is absolutely a different question. Yes.
Right? Now,
Yes.
here's the thing. Once you figure out what makes this book fucking cool, you write these things down. Can I tell a crappy little 100-page story about it? Probably. There's your blurb. And there's your blurb. It's that simple. Right?
Very daunting, because I think almost every author I know is like, blurbs, blurbs.
No, but again, you have to, you're looking at the pyramid, not the steps.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you're looking at the pyramid and not the steps, right? The pyramid. Oh my God, this has got to impress and sell people. Yeah, you know what? No, seriously. Alice in Wonderland's playing fucking croquet with Jason of the Argonauts in the Greek underworld.
Which
How
is
that
awesome.
not?
Ooh, I've got an 80s aerobics instructor in the middle of an alien planet. Does that count as something weird and cool?
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, you got cool stuff. So why aren't you doing something with it? Like right? Like you gotta let people know that's cool stuff there.
That's true. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. I mean, we're done.
So guys, there's an aerobics instructor somehow in another planet giving aerobics to like army ants. There was the assassination.
There was army ants, yeah. Oh, and I had a giant scorpion too in that same trilogy because I really like monsters.
Okay, so you would like monsters.
I do like monsters, yeah.
Why you
I
like
mean,
monsters?
like attacking the main characters, because
So why you like monsters so much?
Dungeons and Dragons. Totally blaming Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I do that?
Dungeons and Dragons is okay. I'm more of a Magic the Gathering guy, although right now, if you've seen the news lately, it looks like Hasbro's in trouble.
Oh no.
They overprinted Magic. They've been doing it since 2020. Now in 2020, people weren't doing anything else, right? So it kind of made sense to go in a little overboard because let's be honest, most of us were at home, kind of like wondering what the hell was
trying to figure out what the hell we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But we're in 2022. And no one wants to buy that much Magic. And
no, because you're back out in your old sort of life trying to figure out how the hell you did it before. And
it's not only that. I mean, okay, so the format I play in Magic is a format called Commander. Here's the thing about Commander. I buy 1 or 2 cards every so often.
Okay.
Put them in my deck. And I have the same deck I've always had. And it's fun. And I can play with anybody and have a good time. I don't want to buy 20,000 sets a year.
Right.
That they have saturated their own market, and so Dungeons and Dragons, which is the parent, also a company of Hasbro, it would be like if Dungeons and Dragons would release a new edition every 3 months.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm sorry. Just please, no.
See, so this is what would happen. You would first try to keep up because you were like, I'm a loyal fan.
No,
right?
Okay, so no. I'd be like, fuck you. I've got enough material to last me for years, and I am not.
No, see, but that's what's happened. That's what's happened. Right? That is legitimately what has happened. Is everybody's like, well, fuck this. Why would I want this?
Right.
Why the fuck would?
And new doesn't mean better, and more doesn't mean better.
Well, no, there's other big problems with the game right now, but that's like the big one. And the Bank of America, if you look at Bank of America Hasbro, it's like they gave a really scathing review of what they were doing with the game. And it's just like, you're killing your golden goose. Like, yeah, you kind of are. So at some point next year, that game is going to have somebody's going to get fired somewhere over the rainbow over there. Somebody.
Yep. Somewhere in the mothership is going to get fired.
And we're going to fix this so we don't do this anymore. It's like, yeah, you probably should because you're assholes. But that is neither here nor there. right? Because no, I'm serious. It's like they're looking at some of the things they've released in the last year. It's like, no, guys, fuck you. I'm not doing that. I'm
Right.
going to just that's just where we're at. And I played the game off and on for 20 years, so
Right.
it's just like so
Yep.
that's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. But I mean, Dungeons and Dragons. I used to GM Shadowrun. Do you know Shadowrun?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I took Roger Zelazny's Amber series and I actually incorporated it into Shadowrun.
Oh, fun.
I love Amber. Amber was one of my favorite
Very
series of all
fun.
time, and I had some fun. I made Oberon the big bad guy, and I even gave them the Amber Tarot deck, right? So they wanted to fight the boss at any time they could. It's like,
Huh.
it's your call. If you want to go to him, all you gotta do is press the card.
Sucker.
That's it. Yeah, I used to be a GM, and it was fun. I enjoy. Dungeons and Dragons is a very fun game with the right group of guys or
With the right
gals.
group of people. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And I was always like the only chick playing it, so it was very, odd.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's more chicks playing the game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, more of them. There are more. It's kind
Which
of
is
cool.
good.
Yeah. So we have talked for nearly 2 hours. We haven't really
Holy
talked
crap,
about-
have we? Oh, look, we have.
I feel like you've gotten tons out of this.
Yeah, no, you're very inspirational. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm glad. I mean, hey, anything is possible. So
Yep.
actually, I should ask this before, and then we'll get to plugging your books. So why writing? Why did you get into writing?
So you know how you start off life and your parents tell you that you can't do that because you're never going to make a living at it, and
Mhm.
you need to be self-sufficient. So after years and years of that, I finally let the muse out and wrote something and just felt so good and let those stories out that were in my heart or my dreams, whatever. So I have to. They're trying to come out. All the little voices in my head, all these little situations are trying to come out and get on the page. So that's why I write.
And they're monsters and heroic.
And there's
construction.
monsters. Oh, I have a pangolin in something that I'm writing right now that all rolls up and goes down like Indiana Jones style, chasing my
Nice.
main character.
I did that in one, and I did that in my first novel too. I actually did
Did
a
you?
homage. So my first novel is about the idea that the cloud will become our future archaeology. Like we have like in history, like we don't have time to go fully in depth, but today it's interesting. Everything's recorded, and I mean everything.
Everything. Yep.
So I mean,
Yep.
there are someone's going to be looking at me in the future and wondering what the fuck was I on in a couple of those
And there's so
pictures.
much data, right? Like just think about all of the data that's out there, and there's not enough analysis on the data to make it into the right pattern unless you're looking for a particular person.
So here's the thing, right? So here's the thing.
Yeah.
We think Tutankhamun was a dick based on the pieces of the story we have.
Okay.
Right?
We have no idea.
We have literally no idea. We're guessing.
Yeah. Right.
But us is going to be different. Future generations are going to look at us like we're either crazy or insane or like probably a little bit, right? But they're going to get, because they have the opportunity with, especially the generation like we were old enough before the internet. So there's parts of our story that aren't there.
That aren't there.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
But there are people, but there's a lot of our like my adult life's there.
Right.
And there are people that are younger than me that are becoming adults now, and their whole lives have been there. So you could literally look at a person from birth to death and get their whole story.
Yeah, but don't you think that someone's going to make sound bites of people's lives and do the same thing that archaeologists do to pick and choose the different points of it to make a picture that's palatable?
I think archaeology becomes more complex.
Yeah.
Because what happens there now is you get a full story. So I think it's not so much that you're taking pieces anymore. It's about how you tell the story, right? All right. So you get people's entire lives on there.
Yeah.
So wait, he's not that kind of dickhead because here and here he's great.
Yeah, but oh, dude, it's just another way that they can like monkey with
Yeah.
the story, right? So if they took your life and everything and they
Yeah.
picked 5 different pieces, they could come up with 5 completely different versions of you. One where you're an
Absolutely.
absolute dick, and one where you're like a saint that like should be right? Like, and it all depends upon which piece of data points they use in order to tell that story.
Yeah. But I mean, but no, there's definitely going to be, then that's the whole point. It's the interpretation of the
It's the
person.
interpretation, right? Because
You're
nobody's
right.
gonna watch somebody's whole life. They're not gonna do it. Or maybe that's their life's work and then they have to summarize it. And every level of summarization, you lose detail.
Yep.
That
And
is what
and
you focus
nuance.
on.
Yeah. So I have an Indiana Jones scene, a digital Indiana rolling rock coming at my main characters. So yeah.
Nice. See, I love that.
Yeah. No, hey, listen, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun. Miss
Yeah.
Claudia, I guess I have one last question, then we get to the plugging of your whatever your current books are.
Okay.
And that is this. What are your goals as a writer? What do you want to do with it?
Ooh. See, I like my day job puts fences around things so that I can figure out the answer that's expected within the criteria that you're asking for it. So so I'm sitting there going, you're like, ooh, what do I want to do as a writer? Well, obviously I'd like to write a lot of books and I want to so I really loved people like Alan Dean Foster and Anne McCaffrey, and I felt like that they just made those things so real and put people in these really crazy things and non-people like Nor Crystal Tears, right? Where I could feel for these people's in these situations that weren't my life and could live someone else's life. And that's what I've always wanted to do is let someone else live someone else's life and see a different perspective and see like the crazy worlds that are out there through the writing. Is that
That's
weird?
awesome.
Little
It's not
weird.
that
All
weird.
right, whatever.
It's not that weird. For also in discovering these worlds, you discover pieces of yourself in the journey
You
as well.
do. Yep, you do.
Right.
Yep.
And then you realize that ultimately, whether we meant it or not, whether it's fiction or not, the people we're writing about in our stories is ultimately ourselves.
Oh man, I'm a bitch.
Sometimes. I'm sure sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
The last thing I'm going to say, and I think, and then we will is I think the biggest thing I've learned in doing these shows and being this inspirational guy people seem to think I am is this. It's because I think I'm worth it. And the reason why I know that I believe that is because I think what I do is good. Now, what's it worth? And that's my fight. I think it's worth this. Some people
Mhm.
come to me, it's like, it's worth this. And I'm
Mhm.
like, fuck you, it's worth this. Right. Right.
Right.
But what one of the things I've learned, if I were to sum up the world's problems, how to solve the world's problems, but changing just one thing, you
Just
gotta change more
one
than
thing.
people have a sense of how valuable they really are. All of which to say, looking at you, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you were being a little bit jokes like I'm such a terrible person. As long as it's only in jest, that's
Oh,
good.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. It's one of my favorite characters is Ravine, and she's trying to save her daughter by inventing time travel. And she's killed people and like enslaved a whole population and like done this all of this terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. And I was like, well, shit, is that me? No, I never do that stuff. But she was
Yeah.
in there somewhere, and she came out as that bad guy or bad gal, whatever.
Well, I mean, do you have kids?
I do.
So you had to learn how to be a villain. It's the only way you would have
Yep,
survived. It's
that's
the
true.
only way. All right.
That's true. That's true. You
That's
can't
it.
just say yes to everything, or God only knows what would happen.
Yeah, exactly. And again, kids are trying to take over the house. That's their objective, right? Your objective is to hold off until they're actually ready to do so. That's
Yep.
it.
And then boot him
That's
out.
that. Yep, pretty much. I think that's a hell of a way to end the conversation. What do you think?
Yes. That's a heck of a way.
You've enjoyed this, I can tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, you're a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, thanks. So, for anybody that's listening or watching, you have books. So, what's your most recent release?
I just released Ravine, actually. That's the name. It's a novella. It's the prequel to my Relic trilogy. The Relic trilogy is the one that has the army ants and the jungle on the 80s aerobic constructor and time travel inside of there too. And Ravine is the bad guy story. So it's the beginning of Renegades Rising, which is where I've got a whole series of people who have been kind of screwed over that have to become bad guys in order to do good. So Ravine just came out, I don't know, like say a month ago.
Okay. Well, congrats. How can people
Yeah.
find it? Is it everywhere?
It's that one. I'm trying something new. So everything else is wide and it's all over the place. This one right now is just on just on Amazon. And I'm trying it out.
And how can people find you?
www.claudiablood.com. Can I be old school and just say all my links to social media are all on my website? And plus story in case you want to try me out. I've got a supernatural daycare with a witch.
Okay, so. After all, you are
there
Claudia
you go.
Blood after trained motherfucker.
Nice. Right there. That's good. That was good.
Yeah. All right, folks, let's get to it. I hit a different button than I intended to right there. Again, trained professional. They gave me rewards for this, folks. I swear I know what I'm doing, or something to that effect. But anyway, if you are an author, or you're a creative trying to get your work out into the world. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong because I started talking at the same time, saying almost
hard to talk and type.
It's like I can do one thing at a time. So for everybody watching and listening, so this is my advertising services page. If you are an author looking for videos about your books, your brand, or yourselves, this is where you can go. I also do shows and create shows. Healing Hands, my show starring Shania Bostic, will be debuting in January, produced by yours truly. So I do that as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today. I got a fun episode tomorrow. I got to talk to a friend I haven't talked to in a very long time tomorrow night, Deanna Soldinger. So tell everybody, for everybody watching, everybody listening, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Stay inspired, keep shining in the dark, and I'll see you guys next time.